When your cat follows you to the bathroom, do you actually know what they're trying to say? Yes, it's a little quirky, maybe even embarrassing when guests find out. But behind that persistence, that determined little shadow padding after you, every single time there's something deeper that most people miss entirely. It's one of the most emotionally loaded things your cat can do. And if you brush it off, or shut the door on them, which most owners do, you might be closing out the one moment your cat feels brave enough to show you who they really are. Let's start with what following you to the bathroom actually means. Most people assume it's just curiosity. Cats are nosy. They want to know what's in there. Maybe they like the cool tile or the dripping faucet. That's the easy answer. And it feels like it fits. Here's what's actually happening. Curiosity is a surface-level explanation for a much older behavior. Your cat isn't following you to the bathroom because the room is interesting. They're following you because you are. Specifically, they're responding to a very precise social trigger. The moment you become unavailable. When you close a door, you disappear. From your cat's perspective, you've entered a space they have no access to, no visibility into, and no control over. For an animal whose entire sense of safety is built around monitoring the people they love, that's not nothing. That's a rupture in their awareness. So they follow you before you close the door. Because the alternative, not knowing where you are, is something they're not willing to accept. Think about that for a second. Your cat isn't following you because they're bored. They're following you because they can't stand the idea of losing track of you. And by the way, if your cat ever sits outside the bathroom door when you do manage to close it, just waiting without making a sound, don't brush that off. We'll get to what that really means at the end, and it's something most owners wish they'd understood sooner. A 2019 study from the University of Lincoln confirmed something that cat skeptics have argued against for decades. Cats form genuine secure attachment bonds with their owners, the same type of attachment measured in human infants and dogs. But here's the part of that research that most people skip over. Cats with secure attachment don't just feel comfortable around their owners. They use their owners as a safe base, a reference point they return to, check in with, and monitor even in low-stress situations. Which means your cat following you into the bathroom isn't random. It's attachment behavior. Active, deliberate, emotionally driven attachment behavior. The researchers also found that cats who display this kind of proximity-seeking behavior show lower baseline stress markers when their person is nearby. Your presence specifically, their ability to confirm your presence regulates their nervous system. You are their calm. And when you disappear behind a door, they lose that calm until they find you again. Here's where it gets even more powerful. When your cat follows you into the bathroom, they're not just checking on you. They often rub against your legs, your ankles, the door frame. They weave between your feet. They press their face against your hand if you reach down. Every one of those touches is a deposit. Your cat has scent glands along their cheeks, forehead, chin, and the base of their tail. When they rub against you, they are literally transferring their scent onto your body. They are marking you not as property, but as family. The bathroom, small and enclosed and filled with your scent, is actually an ideal environment for this. The space holds your smell more intensely than anywhere else in the home. From your cat's perspective, this room is deeply, unmistakably you, and they want to be part of that. They want to leave their signature alongside yours. What that means is this. Every time your cat follows you and rubs against you in that small space, they are performing a ritual of belonging. They are saying, in the oldest feline language they have, "You are mine. I am yours. This is us." That's not a cat being weird. That's your cat making you family. Over and over again. Every single day. Now, before we keep going, if you're learning something new about your cat today, hit like and subscribe. That's how we get these videos to more cat owners who want to love their cats the right way. This behavior doesn't start with domestication. It starts in the wild with a mother and her kittens. Mother cats move constantly. They relocate their kittens for safety. They patrol, they hunt, and return. And kittens, from their earliest weeks, are wired to follow. to stay close, to keep their mother in sight. Because losing her, even briefly, means exposure, cold, hunger, danger. Your cat never fully outgrows that wiring. What changes is who the mother figure becomes. For your cat, that's you. The instinct to follow, to keep their safe person in sight, to stay close in small, enclosed spaces, that's a survival blueprint that your cat has quietly mapped onto your relationship. They aren't being childish. They're doing what generations of cats before them did to stay alive. And the bathroom, with its closed door and contained space, triggers exactly the kind of separation anxiety that instinct was designed to prevent. When your cat follows you there, they are running an ancient program. Stay close. Don't lose them. Stay safe. Here's something worth sitting with. Does your cat follow every person in your home to the bathroom? Your partner? Your roommate? A visiting family member? Probably not. Cats are extraordinarily selective about who receives this kind of sustained attention. Behavioral researchers have noted that cats tend to reserve proximity-seeking behavior, particularly following into private spaces, for the one person in the household they have most deeply bonded with. Not the person who feeds them most often. Not the person who plays with them the longest. The person they trust most. That's you. Your cat has made a choice. Out of every human they have access to, they chose to follow you into the least glamorous room in your home. Every single time. That's not a cat being clingy. That's a cat telling you without words that you are the center of their world. Remember earlier when I mentioned cats who wait silently outside the door when you close it? This is what I was talking about. Cats are predators, but they are also prey. And the single greatest vulnerability any cat can show is letting their guard down completely, making themselves small, exposed, watchable in front of another creature. When your cat follows you to the bathroom and sits with you, they are doing exactly that. They are entering a small, enclosed space with no exit strategy. They have their back to the door. They are relaxed. They are watching you instead of watching for threats. From a survival standpoint, this should not happen. Every instinct your cat has is built around maintaining awareness, maintaining exits, maintaining control. And yet, with you, they suspend all of it. That is not a small thing. That is your cat choosing vulnerability over safety. Choosing you over every instinct that kept their ancestors alive. Most owners never realize that. They see a cat underfoot in a small room and think it's quirky. What they're actually seeing is the deepest form of trust a cat is capable of giving. If your cat suddenly stops following you, notice it. A cat who once trailed you faithfully and no longer does isn't being independent. Cats don't gradually decide they need less connection. Sudden withdrawal from a cat who previously sought you out consistently is almost always a signal. Pain, illness, something that has shifted in their body or their sense of safety. Watch for other signs: changes in appetite, changes in grooming, stillness where there used to be movement. This is where most owners get it wrong. They interpret withdrawal as the cat finally having space, when the cat is actually asking for help in the only way they know how. Don't ignore it. So when your cat follows you to the bathroom, that small, slightly inconvenient, often laughed about thing, they are doing something that requires everything they have. They are tracking you because losing you, even for 5 minutes, disrupts their sense of the world. They are marking you because you belong to them, and they want the whole house to know. They are sitting with you in a small room with no escape route because you are the one being on this earth they trust enough to be vulnerable around. That's not a quirk. That's devotion. And that little shadow at your feet, it was never small to them. It shouldn't be small to you either.